things are not going well. I started reading Think and Grow Rich because it's one of those books that people swear changed the trajectory of their life, but I'm not having that experience at all. So far, I don't think it's a bad book. There are certainly lessons there that gave more people than I can count their very own breakthrough. It truly feels like one of those books that didn't just become popular, it shaped how people think. So now I have to sit here. I feel like I have to sit here and figure out why it's bothering me. I think I'm about to start a small fire. Just a small fire, by questioning it. So let's hop right into it and talk about why. Oh, and if this is your favorite book of all time, then this might be a slightly stressful watch. This is that trigger warning. Hi, I'm Sanra, and this isn't exactly a book review. I just happen to have a mic. Yes, this is my mic for today. I cleaned this just for today, only to spew some saliva on it, so hope you don't mind. Okay, but first, some context. I didn't pick this up casually. I mean, hello, it's one of the most recommended books of all time. People either have it on their shelf or either illegally downloaded book library. And thankfully, I can say that I have this one legally. I'm not lying. Here's the proof. I got it during a teen Christmas raffle at work where you had to grab a book from a sack without looking, and apparently, whatever you get was meant for you. Sure, sure. So I read Think and Grow Rich of my own free will. I even kept saying after I got it that I manifested that book. Like, Think and Grow Rich meant to find me. Anyway, like a kid on Christmas morning, I was eager to read my new book. Shiny new thing, you're eager to use it, you're eager to just get your hands on it, and that eagerness left me here. Fast forward, over a year later, I'm still a few chapters in. I'm not even sure if I've gotten past chapter 4. But actually, let me check. Okay, I'm on chapter Specialized Knowledge. That's chapter 5. Well, I'm much further than I thought. Is that a good sign? Is that a sign that I'll finish this book? But you see, I've been on chapter 5 for, I don't know, since forever. I don't think we can still call this a reading slump. I think I'm resisting this book, mind, body, and soul. Which is also why I can't call this a review. This is more of a what is this book doing to me as I read the situation. Napoleon Hill gets it right that mindset matters, but it doesn't always come first and drive everything. And I think that's why I'm resisting it, because of how it talks about belief, or more specifically, faith. It began with desire as the first step to riches, but next to that, it actually frames faith as the main ingredient. And I get it. I actually agree that having a strong self concept, believing that something is possible for you, is probably the best place to start. However, the way this book talks about it just feels a little too all or nothing. Like, nope, that's it. As if belief alone is supposed to carry the entire thing. And I don't know, that's where I just started to feel a bit disconnected from it. In reality, not everyone is starting from the same place, and I know you probably already know that. Some people just have all the time in the world and they can afford to spend all day working on what they want. There are those with safety nets. Some have access to information, connections, opportunities that others just don't. It doesn't even help that the book uses lots of examples of historically successful men like JP Morgan and Henry Ford. And I'm not saying that they didn't work hard. Obviously, they did. But a lot of them also had access. They had access to money, networks, and opportunities, or at the very least, environments that exposed them to those things early on in life. And that context matters because the book is using these men as the model of success, which is a pretty extreme standard to measure everyone else against. But then again, Who would Napoleon Hill use, right? Some unknown people with a bit of success? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Regardless, when you read something that says if you didn't get what you wanted, you just didn't want it enough, it just feels incomplete. Like you're skipping over something as equally important, you know? And I think that is even a little unfair. And I know life truly isn't fair. There are people out there who want things very badly and are working very hard and still have to navigate realities that they've been dealt that belief alone doesn't fix. So when I read the part in the book that says you should believe and have unwavering faith in what you desire, no matter what, until it comes true, that's making me go, wait, what? I get the concept, but hold up, what do you mean? And that's not to say that I don't believe in belief, but I don't think belief should require you to ignore everything else. Like, let me give an example, and of course, an exaggerated one. I'll go, oh, my fridge is empty, and I actually have nothing to eat anymore. But that's okay, I'm working on my dream project because I believe that I'll succeed, and then I'll get to eat like royalty later. But girl, you're hungry now. Delayed gratification sounds great until you remember you have basic needs. Some things, like actual survival, can't be wished into existence. Reality doesn't pause for your belief to catch up. And if you feel doubt in the midst of it all, the world won't collapse if you listen to that, even just this once. Another thing that had me scratching my head, doubt. Think and Grow Rich turned doubt into a bad thing, like something you're supposed to eliminate, and I don't think I agree with that. God forbid you doubt yourself from time to time and having that branded as personal failure or you being a negative person altogether, when sometimes doubt is just you being aware of your reality. It might mean you're aware of your situation and your limitations. You're aware that maybe the plan needs adjusting. Not all doubt is self-sabotage, but rather it can be self-awareness, like an inner GPS keeping you from walking off a cliff. It's you grounding yourself in the life you're actually living. When you acknowledge that, it'll be easier to take actions that actually align with what you want, not just blind belief that something will work out when you have a supportive reality bringing you back to earth. And you can say that maybe I'm just being dramatic, or I'm taking things in a different light, or I'm twisting what Think and Grow Rich meant to share. Maybe I just don't want to gaslight myself into thinking that this works the same for everyone. If that unwavering faith and burning desire requires you to ignore your reality, you start ignoring yourself too. And that actually makes this whole thing tricky. Belief is kind of like the most romantic part of the whole idea. It sounds good, it feels good. It's comforting to believe that everything is within your control. That if you just want something bad enough, you'll get it. That's a very clean narrative. Reality, however, not so clean. Some things don't work out because of factors you couldn't control, not because you didn't believe hard enough. And doubt isn't always a bad thing either. It can be a warning signal before something goes awfully wrong. So based on what I've read so far, the book treats belief, or in the book's terms, faith, as one of the starting and even the main point. But in reality, belief usually comes after the trial and error and the small wins, and just the moments that show you something is possible. Oftentimes, competence builds confidence, not the other way around. I think you can believe in something and still be honest about where you are. So yeah, I'm kind of ditching this now. That's where the disconnect is for me right now. The idea of belief is great, just not how absolute it feels in this book. Maybe my opinion will change. Maybe there will be a part two based on everything I end up questioning. So consider this as my first impression, you might say. I really have no idea how I feel when I finish this book, or if I'll even get through it at all. But as of chapter 5 of Think and Grow Rich, this is where I'm at. Things are not going well.